What's up, guys? Oh my god, it's the Khaiza, and we're back to another Khaiza Dojo. Can you believe it? Like, when was like the last time? I like forget, honestly. But
at least last semester.
And we got spoiled by our friend, and we're just gonna go straight into here. That's our homie Eskateerr. Oh, right here. That's my camera right here. There you go. Yo, what's up, homie? How you doing today?
Tired, but okay.
Tired, but okay. Yeah. I've been seeing like all your tweets. You've been like struggling with the school administration and stuff like that. It's like, jeez, man. I hope you're doing okay.
Yeah. No, I'm doing all right. It's just, you know how they are. You know, it's just, you know, they think that they know everything, and then at the end you have to tell them like, hey, there's a problem, and they don't know how to fix it. And you're like, how do you not know how to fix it if it's your job to fix it?
Oh my god, exactly. That's the thing. Oh my god, right. Jeez. But hope you're like doing better. But today we're doing another Khaiza Dojo, right? We haven't done these like co-op ones like in a while. Our like Khaiza Dojo, which was oh yeah, what was it? Like fighting game story modes. Yeah, that was the one.
Right. Yeah, story modes last time.
You know what's funny? I actually like forgot to include like one more in our discussion, right? Because
what did you forget to include?
It was the Power Rangers fighting game, the Battle for the Grid.
Oh yeah, and that was probably pretty important since, you know.
Yeah, I recently played that story mode in honor of Jason David Frank, and I gotta say, it's, you know, a lot better than some of the other like Japanese like fighting games like out there. Like, holy shit, they put a lot of effort into this game.
Yeah, they really did. I played it too, but like months and months back.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, they really tried with that story mode.
Mm-hmm.
And like another caveat is that that story mode led into the Boom comics. And I don't read the Boom comics for Power Rangers,
right?
But they cross over with the Ninja Turtles sometimes, and you see that like, yeah, they brought it over.
I see. Oh yeah, that's true. They've been doing the latest like Power Rangers TMNT crossover. Yeah, like all the turtles got like all the cool like upgrades and swag. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I read like the first comic where they first like encounter each other. Like Shredder gets like the green morphing green like power coin, become the Shredder Ranger all of a sudden, and it's like, yeah, like what the okay, I can see why Boom Comics are doing really well with Power Rangers all of a sudden.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, it was mostly to sell figures, but still.
Of course. Regardless, we are going to be jumping into this new episode of Khaiza Dojo, and that's another topic that it's about fighting game music. The OSTs, the soundtracks, the beeps and the bops of, you know, fighting games, right? And this pretty much like stems from like the Khaiza's perspective, because, you know, I'm playing like a lot of Hi-Fi Rush, guys, and like, goddamn, that game is like incredible.
I've been seeing that. I've been tempted to get it just because I've been seeing you play it.
Mm-hmm. It's free on like Game Pass. It's a hell of a lot of fun, right? It's made by the guys that made like Evil Within 1, or made by the guys that made Evil Within 1 and 2, Tango Gameworks, run by Shinji Mikami, and he's an ex-Capcom like dev, and he did like works like the OG RE 1, 4, and he also directed Devil May Cry. So there's a lot of like, you know, well, we'll use this fighting game term, legacy skill in a character rhythm action game.
Yeah, like I didn't know some of his first games, but right when you got into Resident Evil, like I recognized that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super like fun. Like if you have the chance to like get it, guys, it's available on, if you have Game Pass, for free, right? It's like, honestly, like this is kind of like the incentive behind this like Khaiza like fighting game music like topic discussion, is that for Hi-Fi Rush, I never felt like a video game that made me like so gleeful and so like energetic about like music, because, you know, music is like, in a general speak, it's an important thing.
I don't know anything about Hi-Fi Rush. Like I just saw like a bunch of colors.
Oh yeah.
So is it like really like music based then?
It's music based. Everything around the world is so colorful, and the gimmick behind its gameplay, it's like, think like DMC5 meets Guitar Hero.
That's legit.
Yeah, that's legit. Everything, like, you can see, like, everything is like so organic. Everything like beeps and bops to like the music. Like you see like this like iPhone here, guys. It's like beep beep beep, and then like it bops to the music, and then you could do like combos and crazy strings like that. It's super fun, and it's such like a feel good game that I did talk about this like on stream for like a review. It makes you forget all about the annoying like AAA games that are out like in the market for in the video game industry.
Yeah, I'm not saying that like I'm a stickler. Like I hate like AAA games, but like sometimes they feel like soulless.
Yeah, there are like a lot of these like AAA budget like titles to like sell you like all like the ray tracing and like all the water reflections and stuff like that. Most are really like hit or miss. Like some good ones are like, you know, God of War is a really good one because it's, you know, action based, and it's got made by the guys that did like you know, who were worked in like fighting games, so they know like what's up. But for the most of them, like things like, you know, for Spanking, the Square Enix game.
But then you have all the like the sports games that are just like it's like cranking and turning like every year.
Yeah, like
you think they'd find like a better model for that, but at the same time, like people keep buying it. So
yeah, people keep like buying it, right? And it's such like a breath of fresh air because like Xbox is like trying to like compete with Sony because now it's like, you know, the avant-garde of like fucking Jeff Keighley's like asshole. Everything has got to be like a super like deep methodical like cinematic experience for gaming at least, right? And like Hi-Fi Rush is like a game where it's like you forget all of those isms about cinematic like story modes, and you're just there to like have fun, because at the end of the day it's a video game. You're there to have a light fun adventure, not to like, you know, think about like not to be a stickler or like anything against this particular one, you know, like Last of Us. There's a lot of good raving reviews for Last of Us, right? The show and whatnot. I watched the movie. I watched the first game and the second game. I'm like, yeah, it's cool, but I'm not gonna rave about it like it's the best fucking cinematic masterpiece of the video game industry. I'm just not gonna do that.
When the first one came out, I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked the first one, and I haven't played the second one, so I can't say anything about it. But like the way I see like The Last of Us, it's like they did this big thing, right? It's like, and it paid off for them, and it's like, okay, that's great. But then they're like, well, let's try to keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Exactly.
And then I remember when the second one came out, everyone was so mad because they thought it was like super woke or something. It's kind of like how they're talking about the Hogwarts Legacy game right now. Like everybody hates it because like J.K. Rowling's like a big turf, and I'm not even like a huge Harry Potter fan. I don't care if people play it or not, but it's like, you know, they had a formula, and it like worked out once, and now they keep trying to do it.
Yeah, I looked at also that Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy game. Like the premise so far looked like it really was cool. Like they had like a whole direct and everything. Yeah, it's pretty visually. Like you could become like a Hogwarts like student, but at the end of the day, like Hogwarts is selling you like a big like cinematic story. It's not like a Sims or anything. It's not a deep advanced Sims game. It's trying to tell you that like, oh, something's up in the wizardry world of Harry Potter world, and you just have to like solve that. And it comes down to like a gameplay aesthetic, right? There you do all like the actions, choreography stuff, like waving the wands and shit like that. I'm like, okay, that's cool, but to me, it's just not for me.
Yeah, it's not for me either. Like, and then like to get back on the topic of music, like me personally, I feel like music in a video game matters a lot more than
exactly
like, story, because like back in the day, right? Like whenever you had a game, you didn't have much of a story to begin with. Even if you had like an RPG or something, there wasn't much to go off of.
Yeah.
You know? But
yeah, there wasn't much.
The music definitely had to sell you.
Yeah.
If it was like if it sounded weird, no one was gonna play that game.
Exactly. I mean, like some like well, thank you for like bringing back to like the topic of music because yeah, like music is such like a foundational like aspect for not just like movies and like TV shows, but also like in video game. You want to get like hyped. You want to get like motivated and deep emotional. Music has like that resonance like feeling, right? That it can carry something. It has like significant weight to like what you're actually like doing. Right, so that's like in video games, right? Not just like we'll get to like the nitty gritties of fighting games like there, but in general, right? It's so important to have like, let's say for example, Final Fantasy VII, when Sephiroth stabs Aerith at that iconic scene, and Aerith's theme like plays, it has much more impact than just like being inserted here, you know?
It's just that like without the music, there's like less of an identity to like the game.
Right.
Like just imagine trying to play Mario, just Mario without the like iconic Mario sound, the Mario music to like accompany. Like,
right.
Just in the first one, if you don't have like that, you don't have that sound for Mario, like it just doesn't feel the same thing. It feels almost like a knockoff.
Yeah, it just feels like something like it doesn't feel like Mario without like the did, and it's just
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that's the thing, right? And you know, right? Like, imagine like there's a new what was it? A theme park resort, right? Have you heard of Nintendo Land Eskateerr?
I have heard of it. Like
Yeah.
in passing, yeah.
Yeah, they like Universal Studios opened up like a new like Nintendo themed like theme park where I was like skeptical at first because I went to like Universal with my my nieces back in like August for like a vacation, and I was like, I know they're gonna do Nintendo Land, but it's like Universal own Nintendo. I'm like, wait, how does this work?
It's probably a license. It's probably what it was.
Yeah.
Nintendo probably just licensed it to like Universal, and they were like, okay, you can just do it now.
Yeah, because I know like Universal has like a thing with Illumination, and Illumination is like tied back to that, right? Because now we have like all the like the Gru like and the Minions and stuff like that, all those like attractions. And I was like, oh, now I see where they're going because of like the Super Mario movie that will be coming soon. So that will attract like not just like adults, because I don't think like to be like off topic, I don't think like young kids will like know of Mario, right?
They do. No,
They do? Oh
Yeah,
shit! Wow, I thought they would.
Yeah, Nintendo's powerful, dude. Like, I mean, for one, there's parents who introduce like these games to their kids.
Well, that's
And,
like
that's one, and then like two, like people just like Nintendo's still like putting out Mario games, and the Switch is pretty like easy to get for kids, so
yeah.
they know about Mario.
Yeah, because like I see like my nieces like all throughout the year, and they occasionally like visit, and like my like little one, my little niece is all about like what was it, Minecraft and Roblox. So that's like her shtick.
Don't get me wrong, like Minecraft and Roblox probably has like a bigger hold on them, but like the kids still do at least know what Mario is. Like they can at least relate to it.
Oh, okay. Then that's fair. That would be like a wonderful experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really hope so, right? Because like, theme parks are like just like a magical experience, right? And I was talking about this with my mom. It's like the amount of like the price for like tickets for those like theme parks like Disney and like Universal are like super fucking expensive. Like she asked me like, Farhan, imagine like if you had to go there like every year. Like, nah, mom, you can't go there every year. That's impossible.
I mean, it's not impossible, but it's definitely very expensive.
Like it would be possible if you have like a high earned job, but like going to California, like if you're living in like in the East Coast and then going to California, you have to pay like $1,000 for plane tickets, and then like pay like probably $100 for like just the attraction itself. It's like no thank you. No thank you.
And then if you don't live there or you don't have family there, you have to pay for the hotel, and that's not cheap either.
That's not cheap either. It's like, oh my god. Thank God my cousin rented us like what was it? An Airbnb motel. So we had we had like our own house, and like that's how we could do like everything. It was a fun time.
Airbnbs can be hit or miss, so you definitely got to shop around whenever you try to get those.
Oh yeah, we got like the Airbnb was like okay where we stayed at, but it was like yeah, there were some parts that were like, you know, musky. Like it looks like some parts were like damaged or something like that. Not too damaged, but like
it's not even that, because I can deal with that. It's more like some areas they don't have like big, like, because a lot of people just like buy out like properties and then just make them to Airbnbs.
Oh,
like that's one thing, right? But a lot of Airbnbs are just like somebody's extra room, you know? And usually, like when I first started using them, I thought like, oh, they won't be here, right? Like they're on vacation too or something. But no, sometimes they're still there. It's kind of weird.
Jeez, man, still. Oh my god. Maybe we'll go like maybe I could talk to mom and we'll like think about like going to like California again, because you know after like that California visit I got like addicted to like theme park rides, and I was like, all right, I want to ride a legit roller coaster, right? I want to like they had one at like at the Harry Potter exhibit at like Universal. It's like I went with my tall niece, and I was like, and I talked to her, I was like, man, this is like a bitch ass roller coaster. This shit for like 5 seconds.
You never had like those state fairs? Because like when I was growing up, they had like state fairs and stuff, and they bring back.
They
like,
do.
Like, little roller coasters and stuff.
They do in Jersey City, but there's always like that notion that like if it's like just held together by like duct tape and hope, then there's got to be like some hazard lights in there, you know.
That's true, but you know.
Yeah, right.
Bored out in the country. I mean, take what you get.
I mean, guys, this is recording, but we all seen like a Final Destination film here or there, like in our lifespan. Remember Final Destination 3 with the roller coaster? Oh my god, bro, that shit fucking but yeah, right. That's like a little bit off topic. We should like get back into like music, right? So we should like start off with like generals, like do like a little like back and forth on like what were some of our like best musics that not only were just like impactful, we could also talk about impactful, but also like what about our favorite musics?
I'll start off with mine absolutely. I don't know about for fighting games, but like video games in general, it was always Sonic 3. That was my first iconic one.
Yeah.
And then for FGs, it was always the thing with FGs, it's more like the music is a little, it has to be there and it has to be right, but it's like a little less impactful on the identity. But for me in fighting games, the one everyone always remembers is like the Marvel vs. series, especially like Marvel 2. You know?
Yeah.
Like, that's the one everybody knows, right? It's like, let's put on some Marvel 2.
Exactly.
And when it comes to music identity, for a fighting game, you always have to go back to Street Fighter. That's why I think with Street Fighter 6 transitioning into this like hip hop like music identity thing, I think that's like a natural thing that they should have done and that they are doing. Because it's like every time they come out with like another song, like on YouTube, like through the the Capcom Street Fighter channel, like I get a little hype for it because it gives identity to that character.
Yeah,
I start thinking like, are they gonna have songs for like different stages?
Oh yeah, apparently they do. They have like character themes when you load in on the round, and sometimes they'll recycle back to the stage themes as well. So you can hear stage themes as well as character themes, and it goes like random per round. Either your character, the opponent's character, or the stage. Yeah.
So what I think with fighting games, the way I think it's different music wise than like other video games, like other like genres, you need like a specific song for a specific stage, right? Or you need a specific song for like a specific moment, right? So like you talked about like Final Fantasy's like moment with Sephiroth, like you need that song, right? You need it for that exact moment. But like in fighting games, it's a little different, right? It's like it helps out a lot to have like that specific song for like that specific stage, but you don't need it, you know? So you need something. You need something there, right? You can't just have silence. So you need something there. So I think with fighting games, there's a little bit more pressure to make like decent songs, because like if you only have one song for all those stages, people are gonna be turned off by it. Like imagine like Guile's theme on all the stages of Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, it would sound a little bit monochrome if it was just like implemented like, all right, let's put this here, let's put this there, and like there's no like flavor or like substance. You gotta be like, why is Guile's themes like so unique? I mean, we see like YouTube videos and TikToks about like, you know, Guile's theme like fits with like everything. Like you just pretty much, but does it? Yeah, exactly. Exactly, that's a good question.
You really want to test that? Like,
yeah, right? Like, some of those things, like, mind y'all, chat, mind y'all on watching this video, some of them are hit and miss, right? My first introduction to it was, like, fucking Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, when, like, Jeffrey breaks out, or, like, Phil asks Jeffrey, like, break out the pole cue, break out Lucille against, like, all those, like, hustlers that Will was with. So I was like, okay, that's a good moment. That's a good call.
That's an iconic scene, by the way. I love that scene.
Oh, of course.
Because like you can tell, like he changes his tone like automatically.
Yeah.
like at one moment he's trying to be like this timid person. He's like, bring out Lucille. And
yeah. Like, oh shit. Yeah, right. But I'm glad that you mentioned also like I'm glad that you mentioned like fighting games, but I'm also glad that you mentioned what was it? Just like in video game general, which is like Sega games, right? You mentioned like Sonic 2, right? Was it Sonic 2 or was it Sonic?
For me, it was Sonic 3, but also Sonic 2 because like I mean Sonic 2. So.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like Sega as like a whole, they're really known for like their musical beats and like jams. Like some of their like music catalog are ingrained into like, you know, rhythm based like things, right? There's like Nights into Dreams is one of them, and Space Channel 5. Both of them are like deeply fucking ingrained in rhythm.
I never played Space Channel 5, but Nights into Dreams, that was trippy.
Exactly. And let's not forget what's like Sega with all of the grungy like metal Sonic games that came out like in the 2000s. Everybody still remembers like the Sonic Heroes theme song. There's Shadow's theme song for his specific game.
All of Sonic hit.
Exactly. Rolling around at the speed of sound. Yeah, it's so iconic. You rolling down San Francisco like that. It doesn't like hit the way it does. Like you were saying, like Guile's theme like fits with everything. Like rolling around at the speed of sound. Like if you insert that in every single like level in Sonic, it's not gonna have the same impact as the first level.
And I would probably say that Guile's theme, I mean, maybe it'll fit for like every Street Fighter. Like this is like the thing I'm trying to get to. Like Guile's theme probably fits for like all the Street Fighter like stages, right? But at the same time, after a while, people get kind of tired of it.
Exactly.
So they want to listen to something else. So they'll, you know, that's why I think it's probably better if like most of the time, like fighting games, they try to attach a song to a character, because then like, okay, you can have that character at different stages. So now you have that song in different stages, but do you really want like that same song with other characters?
Exactly.
Weird, you know?
Yeah. And for like fighting games, like you also mentioned one that's like most impactful, which is like of course like Street Fighter 2, right? Because you know, you were talking about like identity, and like music also needs to have like an identity. You know, especially for like fighting games, you need to have something that like, you know, not just like characters like visually, but also like, you know, we sometimes have like, you know, other senses that like, you know, tie to like other senses. Like seeing is like one thing, but if you combine like seeing with like hearing, it's like when you see this character, you can literally like, with no music around, just like everything around you, you just hear like Guile's theme. You see Guile, you think and hear of Guile when you're walking the street, you know? And also you mentioned a classic one is Marvel vs. Capcom, right? All like all of the MVC songs back at like not even like MVC 1, but also Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, X-Men versus Street Fighter, and then of course we got like MVC 2, which by the way, right, MVC 2 did not plan to have like that, that jazzy element, because back in the day, nobody didn't like MVC 2 like at launch, because it was a 3v3 fighter, it was simplified buttons, and it had a weird like jazzy soundtrack compared to like the cartoony like pop and very guitar strings that MVC was known for. So a lot of
I think what it was is that like a lot of like fighting games, they're like very 90s, they had like that 90s sound. And then MVC2 was sort of like getting away from that.
Yeah, that was the thing. It was getting away from that, but it's the funniest phenomenon about like MVC2, at least in terms of music. People hated that music initially, but it's that nostalgia factor like kicking in. Like after like 10 years or so, it's like, yo, Marvel 2 kind of bops. That shit's gas, bro.
Yeah, I heard the same thing. Then I also heard they used to package like I think like a CD or like a cassette with like Killer Instinct or something. I don't know. I heard it on the podcast that Max and Justin and like
Triple KO.
Yeah, Triple KO. I heard it on there, and they're like, "Hey, did you even have that song?" And it's like and apparently it's like super rare or something, and it's just like, I think that's like another factor to like a lot of because like a lot of music is like sometimes hard to get.
Yeah.
Like, and what was it? Cop Killer. I forget who actually did it. I can't remember if it was NWA or somebody else. But Cop Killer, the song, you can't find it.
Oh my god, you can? Wow.
No, you can't. Like, yeah, I heard somewhere that like they took it off. Like you can't find it. Like in new I guess releases of that album and that song, they don't have that song in there. Like it caused such a commotion back in the 90s that like they're just like, alright, don't release it ever again. It's even hard to tour again. Like trying to find it like on like the dark web and stuff. I heard it's kind of hard to even do that.
Jesus Christ. I mean, yeah, back in the day, like it's not just like also like hard to find like anime. You have to go through like torrent sites and stuff like that. You also like with just like music. You had to get like fucking well, back in the day, in my day, like the faintest thing was like what was it, Rhapsody? Like that was like a music app that like everybody got.
Yeah, Napster and Rhapsody, yeah.
Until the name title changed to like Napster, and it was like, man, I miss Rhapsody already.
Yeah, I remember that. It's just, if someone wants something gone, and like it causes like that much of commotion, it could just be gone. And, like you can't find Cop Killer.
Yeah, but oh yeah, since you talked about your things, your like favorite like music in video games and in fighting games, the Khaiza will start like his turn, and I'm pretty much Hi-Fi Rush is definitely like in the top tier like contenders for me when it comes to like best music of like video games for me, but also Devil May Cry, especially with like the fifth one. I always like love listening to like their tracks, like even like some of like from 3 onwards. 2 and 1 are like debatable because like they don't have like any music to them. They're just like rough foundations, but 3 was like, man, you hear like Dante's theme when it comes in, like Devils Never Cry, and then you hear like the subsequent Devil May Cry like character themes like afterwards. It's just like, man, this sounds really awesome. Like it feels like I'm actually like motivated, no pun intended to Virgil, but I feel motivated just like playing like those games. Because for me, like action games and music really like go hand in hand. Like you gotta be like motivated when you're beating down enemies, right? And Devil May Cry is not just like one of them. There's also Bayonetta, Metal Gear Rising. What else is there on like the catalog? Oh, there's that Transformers. Yeah, there's also that Transformers Devastation game. That also has some rock tones in it.
I would probably say like even in the old school ones, like old school Contra has like a lot of like musical nostalgia to it, you know. That
Yeah.
Metal Slug.
Oh yeah. Oh, I do want to try Metal Slug one day. I know there's like a tactics game like coming out, but I'll be willing to try it out if it's like from SNK really.
I forgot about the tactics game, but
Yeah.
I mean, I used to play a lot of like the actual like arcade Metal Slug back in the day.
Oh my god. Yeah. It's really like one of those games. It's like Metal Slug is like their Ghost and Goblins.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's
pretty much,
so
yeah.
frustrating that like people rip their hair off for that game, right?
But you keep coming back.
But you keep coming back, right? Like yeah, that's like that fun stress. But yeah, like Devil May Cry is definitely like one of them. Hi-Fi Rush, any like action game, right? Because like and also another thing, right, with like action games and like music like really goes well. And there are like only like specific examples like fucking DMC5 and Metal Gear Rising, and now with like Hi-Fi Rush, it's like, you know, it's not enough for like just to like insert like music into like a video game. You want that music to feel organic in a way, like make that music alive. So like for example, like with DMC5, right, when you do like a combo and you know the traditional like from D to like S rank, right, that's usually the standard for like these like character action games. When you go to S in DMC5, when the character theme like hits, like Devil Trigger hits, it goes from quiet, and then when you hit S to get that smoking sexy style, it's like, and you notice the music changes. Now it's more hype. Now you're motivated to whoop some ass. Like, god damn Capcom, that shit's pretty good, right? Like I always love like music like tones or music beats that hit at that right moment, and like you feel more powerful when you're playing your video game. It's a motivation factor for me.
I mean, that's just like good sound designs. You know, it's
Yeah.
just audio design in general. You need it to be that way.
Exactly.
Like music in a lot of video games is like they usually all sort of have like the same type of feel, but when it comes to like action and fighting games, you need certain sounds for certain actions, you know? It's like, you know, like you were saying, you need it for certain action.
Exactly.
Because, you know, somebody that, I play with, he needs the sound on whenever he's playing. He's like, it just doesn't, you don't react the same way if the sound's not there. And then when you go to a tournament, because I went to Texas Showdown, they have like the audio things in there. You want to put your headphones in to like listen to the actual game sound, you can, because like it's important. It's important to a lot of people to actually have like the sound there in order to like know like how to react or what to do, or how someone's like reacting to what you're doing.
Well, that's also like in like tournaments though, because when you're in a tournament, there's a lot of like, cluster of like noises, and like it's important to have like that sound, especially like isolated to like headphones, because you could just like break off all that outside cluster noise, and then you could just like focus on the game. I would imagine that's very hard to like, just playing the game and listening to the crowd like behind you. It's going to be very rough.
Yep. I mean, you know how fighting game people are. Like, some of them might be peppery, so.
Yeah, and another like that's me like talking about like action games and like music, but for fighting games like specifically, some of like my favorite fighting games just really like, well, Street Fighter 6 is definitely like one of them, because Street Fighter 6 is selling you on like the hip hop identity that has been like founded upon since, I don't know about Street Fighter 2, but Street Fighter 3, because that's where they laid the foundation. Yeah, Third Strike is where they really laid the foundation for like the hip hop theme, and it's ingrained so hard into like the culture of like Street Fighter. Everything about it is like hip hop, and yeah, like Street Fighter is like definitely one of them, right? Yeah, Guilty Gear definitely is like one of them for like favorite soundtrack and music. Yeah, not just in terms of like character themes, but also now it's like Strive. Each character has like vocal character themes.
Yeah, that's true.
And they have like
I remember everyone talking about it when it first came out too.
Yeah, every character has like highs and like flowcharty highs and lows. Like they sound like good. Some themes are like hit and miss, but like man, when you play that character, it's like you really feel like you're motivated to play that character. Like that's really awesome for Guilty Gear to have that, right? They've been like polishing up, or they've been like redefining not just their art style and character visuals, but also like, you know, what this character, you know, represents in terms of like how you mentioned the term audio design, because audio design is also a really important tool.
I mean, did you hear that like in Guilty Gear, like all the characters are supposed to represent like some sort of rock icon or something?
Oh, of course, 100%. There's like the blatant example, which is Jam Cloud Like it's spelled in a way that's like jam is okay, and then there's like Kuradoberi, which is like the Japanese enunciation for cloudberry. So that's like a very obvious blatant statement of just like rock references in Guilty Gear. So that's pretty dope. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. I'd say it's pretty dope.
So Guilty Gear is definitely one of them for me. I really like the Guilty Gear soundtrack, and there's the one fighting game that I will always like listen to, and it has such like I feel like such like an important feature is Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct 2013, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, for sure.
Like,
I never played Killer Instinct growing up. When I played the new one, it was it definitely had an identity to it.
There was like a recording that it was Hold Back to Block, and there was like a documentary about how was the sound design made for like Killer Instinct, because Killer Instinct soundtrack like season 1 was done by Mick Gordon, and if anybody who knows Mick Gordon, he did like the first Doom remake game 2016. So you hear like all these like metal riffs and shit and all the badass like guitar beats to it. So you could definitely see where like Killer Instinct's like origins in terms of like music comes from.
It did always feel a little Doom.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of like interesting stuff like for character themes. Like Mick Gordon is like the type of like music composer that like really goes ham for like authenticity, right? I heard I was watching the recording by Hold Back to Block, and Mick Gordon was talking about like the origins for like the Spinal theme, the big ass like the skeleton pirate, yeah, and like he actually used like a bone femur as like a flute.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It did. Like there's some creepy ass like origins of like using like the femur of like a bone or something like that to compose like parts of the Spinal theme, like the new one, and it's like, like,
definitely interesting.
Yeah, to like sell you that like this is like Spinal, right? And yeah, and then Mick Gordon was like in touch with the DMC5 like music team, especially the vocalists, Casey Edwards and Victor Burba, who did the vocals for Nero's theme and Virgil's theme, right? She did the vocals for Maya's theme and Orchid's theme. Yeah, and those sound fucking badass, right? Like, holy shit, like Killer Instinct just like has like some musical beats that like I've never like heard of before, and I will always like come back to it every day.
So here's like one question I'll probably have, like, who do you think emphasizes music more in fighting games, like American studios or Japanese ones? Because like Mortal Kombat also has like they have like their iconic themes too, but one of their iconic songs comes from the movie.
Yeah, and I was exactly gonna like counter argument you, Eskateerr, because like Mortal Kombat, right? And that's also like another like topic of discussion within this topic is about like some like fighting game music are really like fucking misses, right? And like Mortal Kombat, I feel like is one of them, because like as you said, Mortal Kombat, I feel like it's a miss, because if you're talking about like OG Mortal Kombat, then yeah, but like now it's like with the new Mortal Kombat, it's just like scores and like cinematic like sounds for like character battles. Like it doesn't really sell you the hype. And the only like hype thing from Mortal Kombat was not from their video games, but from the fucking from the 1999 movie, right? That like that Technodrome theme like beats in, and it's like that's what sold kids to play Mortal Kombat. It's like, you know, that's the song right there. But
that's true. And then Mortal Kombat didn't really even get that big until Mortal Kombat 2.
Until MK2, exactly, right? And it was like, wow, Mortal Kombat, when you think about it, is like, there's no other like creative song in their like library. It's to sell you on like, you know, you're just the fighting and the characters and the lore, but not in the music. Not in the music. It's just only like one track that's been used like throughout like history. Everybody knows about it, but like, is there like a character theme for Scorpion? Not really. Is there a stage theme for like when you face Shao Kahn? Not really. Yeah, pretty much just like Mortal Kombat just feels like plain. We just only like ham it up so much because, you know, it's Mortal Kombat. But as far as like the music department goes, it's like very, very little, like this smidgen. And I would probably add that like the Japanese studios emphasize music a little bit more, and you can tell because they would come out with CDs and vinyl for like the songs. Oh yeah, exactly.
You know? And like, did you ever think that like in the 90s that like somebody would come out with like even a CD?
Yeah, right? A CD for a fighting game. Like unless like, you know, you torrent it, and even like torrenting it would be like a little bit of even then, like it would still be like a struggle. Yeah, but like that's like Mortal Kombat, right? But God, what other like fighting game made here by like the US had like a really good like score or theme, at least like fighting game wise?
I mean, I can only think of Mortal Kombat, and you know, you already debunked it because like the only one that everyone remembers is from the movie.
Exactly.
And Killer Instinct. Those are the only two American ones that I can think of.
Well, there is a Skullgirls though. That's made by In-House America.
That's true. And I would also contend that, you know, Skullgirls is a little bit more modern.
Yeah,
because
it's a little bit modern.
Whenever I think of music that people want to remember, I go back. You know, I go back to like, okay, what is something that gave it its identity, like, you know, in the 90s or the early 2000s? Because like now, like music and video games has already been like legitimized, you know? Like there's already like genres of people who like, you know, I think they give a word for it now. I don't think they do it in the Grammys, but like, you know, I think there's at least something where like they recognize that like, yeah, video game music is something to at least look at now.
Exactly. It's still like a contender there, and I can't wait like if like a potential like next Grammys will like show up and like, oh man, like let's say Killer Instinct, like Tooth and Nail, Saberwolf's theme is going to be nominated in there. Like, thank God, like no more country music or no more rap and hip hop. I mean, like, not to sound out us.
I mean, country music has its own thing, you know?
Country music has its own, yeah, exactly.
I used to watch that. I mean, I didn't watch it, but like it used to come on, and because my dad, he likes country music.
Oh yeah.
He put it on like to the CMAs. And I tell my dad, I was like, you know, is this like any better than what it used to be like in the past? Because they used to have like the Grand Ole Opry for like country music and stuff like that. And he's like, nah.
And I was like, nah. Oh my God, that's funny. But yeah, like what was it? There's Mortal Kombat. But then we should also like get down to some of like the Mortal Kombat was like the starting point. Where like some other like fighting game music that were just like, you know, that just sounds like offbeat.
I would still stick to Mortal Kombat. Like a lot of it sounded weird. Especially like, you ever play like MK4?
Oh, I never played MK4. I wasn't big of a Mortal Kombat kid back in the day. I knew of it.
I wasn't either, but one of the neighbors that I had, he had it, and we played it, and it sounded wrong.
Mortal Kombat 4 sounded wrong. Oh
It
shit.
sounded wrong. Like, I don't know how else to put it. It just sounded off. It sounded wrong.
Cheese and rice. But yeah, like Mortal Kombat is a good one, but there is one that I know of, and I've had like you know, first-hand experience with this, MVCI.
Yeah, that's true.
The fact that that game like comes out with just like, oh, let's make the music like the MCU, and like no characters have like fucking personality. Spider-Man sounds like from the movies, so sure, yeah, right, but like Iron Man sounds weird, Captain America,
and I hate to say it, because like the gameplay is solid like now, but even then, like it was solid, but like they dropped the ball on everything else, like literally everything else.
Yeah, that's literally like one of like the worst music, like I feel, because you know, I'm like a big like Marvel vs. Capcom fan, and like I go back and listen to like character like themes from not just like MVC3 but like older titles as well, and like, man, these themes sound super original, super unique to the character.
I will say though, MVC3 I think has the strongest, like had a lot, like all the versus ones. I think that one has the strongest.
Oh, for sure. So most of them are really like remixes of like old themes, but just like done better in a techno vibe. Some themes are like misses, but those themes in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 are there to sell you, like, you know, there's the pop, there's the beat, right? Like that's really like what stands out really, MVC.
It really sells you on like the comic book theme too.
Exactly, right? And that's like the sad, unfortunate part, because like, you know, as you said, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is a stellar game in terms of gameplay, right? It's one of those like favorite like fighting games for me. But the thing, and this is like off topic to music, the thing that sells like fighting games to like casuals is like, you know, the front surface like value. Like, is it cool? Does it look clean? Does it visually look clean? Is there like a big like roster to casuals? And like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite didn't really have that. It was just recycled assets from the past games. You have like one or two characters here and there, but visuals sell a fighting game like super hard to a new audience. And if you don't have that, you're pretty much just like dead in the water.
And put the visuals aside for like 1 second, like the roster, right? So like a lot of fighting games, they tie a song to a character.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how many songs are you going to be able to have if your roster's small?
Right, yeah. Like, yeah, and that's the thing with like, you know, I had like a sample to like listen for all of like the Capcom side does sound cool. Like they're like cool hip hop remixes. Like Chun-Li's theme sounds like you're going to a club type of like Chun-Li vibe. And Morrigan also sounds really banger as well. X is really cool, Strider is really cool. But then you like dip into like the Marvel side, right? And like, you know, there's no character that doesn't really sell you that like, oh, he or she is like definitely unique. Everyone just sounds like a fucking like Hans Zimmer OST from Transformers.
Yeah, and the thing that like MVCI is like, you know, their songs for like the Marvel side, what it reminded me of were like not the Spider-Man like animated series, because that one's iconic. Like everyone knows that one.
Yeah.
But no one remembers the Iron Man like animated series, because they had an Iron Man series. They had Iron Man, Fantastic Four, and the Hulk. No one remembers that.
Yeah.
Long, like if you remember the intros to those songs, they were weird.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Probably Iron Man, but the rest of them were just.
Yeah, I don't remember some of like the older shows outside of Spider-Man. I guess that's like really like, you know, give and tell that like, you know, oh wow, outside of like Spider-Man and like X-Men, which sound like really iconic, it's like, man, what did Iron Man sound like? What did the Hulk sound like?
Exactly.
But granted, right? There was like the Iron Man Armored Adventures one, the one that looks like all CG, and that was debuted on Disney XD or something, Jetix or something.
It was like Disney something.
Yeah,
So
and
trying to rebrand it as something else.
yeah, and that show's opening theme is like a banger, right? Like that sells you like Iron Man. I mean, he's like a teenage like Tony Stark. It's not like the typical like billionaire philanthropist Tony Stark, but it's like, yo, damn, like this song actually fucking slaps.
I mean, this just goes to show you that like if you don't have the sound right, people are gonna forget it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, people are gonna like forget about it if you don't have like a boppin' like theme. Like it's gonna be forgettable. It's gonna be hard to reach to that like audience, right? And especially for fighting games, like you need that, right? Right? Because you know, not just like visuals and roster, but well, visuals and rosters are like, you know, definitely like important, right? But included in those, like you need to have something that makes them, you know, they stand apart from one another. In terms of like music and character wise.
Yeah. It's just for me, like if you don't have the sound right, I already know that it's not gonna sound.
Exactly. It's a hard thing to like come by like nowadays, where like, you know, oh, the gameplay is good for a fighting game. Nah, homie, you can't like sell on like a fighting game just on like gameplay. You know how hard it is just to like sell on like, you know, just gameplay nowadays for just like, let's say like a casual Joe Schmo? No, it's not gonna work that way.
Even for a hardcore guy, like think about it. Like if you're just trying to sell someone on gameplay, well, what's to say that it's just not gonna play like an older game?
Exactly. Yeah, like that was like some of like the complaints that I hear like pro competitors for like from Guilty Gear XR to like Guilty Gear Strive. It's like, man, it feels so like neutered down and simple from like Guilty Gear XR. I don't want to play this new game. I like the old game a little bit better. But then like, you know, Daisuke Ishiwatari, the team of Arc System Works, promised the guys that, and it was like, okay, that's cool. All right, we can find a way to like keep casual audiences coming into Guilty Gear Strive, but also make it really entertaining for pro players.
Like I think Strive is a good example, right? Because like those pro players, they really wanted to stay like with XR, and you know, there's still a community that, you know, sticks to that. But like the music for Strive sold, so like enough people were like, they're like, okay, let's at least give it a try. At least the music sounds pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, like a lot of like the music in like Guilty Gear Strive, you know, I mean, they're very like, you know, flowcharty. Like they got like a solid opener, they got like middle lines, and then they have like a pause, and then like they go to like the very rockin' like end. But you know, it definitely sounds like organic and unique when you're like playing it, and especially well, it's a little bit like, I'll give it like one counter to like Guilty Gear Strive is like, you know, because of the way like Strive is, and it's like, it's kind of annoying when like you land like a counter hit and then the music like, you know, like basses like out or like, you know, D-levels out. It's like, you know, it's kind of like weird. Like I don't want to hear that like all the time. I mean, I get it, I'm labbing or like I'm playing the game, but right, like, man, I wish it was like uninterrupted.
I can hear the sound in my head too. Like right when you said like right when they counter, I can hear it in my head right now.
Yeah, it just goes like, you know, you hear Soul Bad Guys theme, it's like find your way that you like, it's just like it just sounds like some weird like someone like scratching the DJ disc very inappropriately. I'm like, nah homie, don't do that to me, I'm in the mood now. But yeah, like music and fighting games are like really important. We can like list out like some more examples from like fighting game like library, right? Because we talked about Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat.
The one I remember from like 3D stuff, Soul Calibur. That for me personally, that's just me.
Okay, yeah. Because like I'm trying to like think of like Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur is like good. It does have like good songs in there, but like it's to sell you like the dramatic battle.
That's
right.
why.
Yeah, like dramatic battle, like it's good, but like, you know, I wouldn't say like, you know, top of like the list. Like it's good for like, you know, the cinematic moment is what I like get from Soul Calibur.
Yeah, and I get it, right? I get like it's not gonna be like top for everybody, but for me, like like when I think of like big like fighting game like entrances and like presentation, I think it's Soul Calibur.
Yeah, and Soul Calibur just like has like those beats. Like I've been playing the past weekends. Well, not like Soul Calibur, but I've been playing like Tekken, like getting back into it, and I was like, yeah, like. And I had to like remember some songs from like Tekken as well, because like Tekken really does have like some good beats. Like it sells you the identity of like the techno club feel, but there's some songs that like in the second stage or like in the final round, they just sound like so bizarre. Or like what was it? Infinite Azure stage, right? Solid first stage theme.
I can't do Infinite Azure just because like when you get into like the second round and like in the final stuff, it sounds weird to me too.
Yeah, it sounds super weird because it goes. What was it? This was a funny ass memory because back in like Evo 2022. Oh, it wasn't Evo 2022. I think it was like last year's or the last Tekken World Tour. Right? I
think that was like 2000. That was before the pandemic, I think.
Yeah, it was like before the pandemic, but
it was like I think that was 2019 because I think that was when Arslan Ash won Evo.
Yeah,
and I think he won. I don't remember if he won the World Tour, but I remember he was like up there.
Oh, of course. But what was it? Yeah, I think it was Tekken World Tour when like Harada was like unveiling like the last patch or like the last characters for like their final season of Tekken 7. And of course, everybody knows Harada because, he's a public representative. He always says like, why is everyone booing? Stop it, shut up and sit the hell down. And like, he's a PR guy for reasons and he's funny for that. But this one funny moment was that they got like a trailer for Lydia and like the grand battle balance for Tekken 7 Season 4. And Harada and Michael Murray were at the back of the commentator spot with like Markman and Tasty Steve, and like they interrupted the commentator spot and Harada was like, I like you, but stop that singing. He's like, what the fuck, dude? He's like, and Harada had like the accents for like, what was it? Cause Tasty Steve would like parody the Infinite Azure like second theme, and he's going like blah blah blah, and like Harada did his like own thing. It's like, why are you always singing that second theme? You go blah blah blah. It's very disrespectful. Stop that singing. It's like like I always thought that moment was funny. Every moment where Harada speaks like English is always like amazing to me.
You know what? I just thought it. A lot of songs like in fighting games, like intros and outros, kind of remind me of like wrestling themes.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I have to put like 2 to 2 together. Yeah, you're right. They're like intro themes or like character themes. Now I can see it. Now I can see it. Right.
Only in wrestling, it doesn't go on for like the entire match. So.
It doesn't go on for the entire match, but damn, I could see it. I mean, they did. I mean, what was it? Tekken Tag Tournament 2 did have like wrestling intros for tag characters. Yeah, like you would have. Yeah, they would have like the backdrop of like a thing for like Tekken, and you would have like your two characters like out front, like in the surface. Like, well, I mean, Tekken Tag Tournament 2 was definitely silly, right? Because you would have like Kazuya in a Link costume. All that stuff for like the Nintendo Wii. Yeah, that was there.
I think I have it too for my Wii U. I'd have to like check it out.
Yeah, you get like legit Nintendo costumes for certain like Tekken characters. Kazuya is Link. Who was like Mario? Mario was I think like Heihachi or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was Heihachi.
Yeah, I was like, huh.
I'm starting to remember now. I think it was Heihachi.
Exactly, but yeah, like in terms of like music for like Tekken, some like Tekken themes are like really like hit or miss like in that game. Some themes are like okay, but yeah, like most of them are just really selling you on like the club. We going to the club, we're going to the club, you know, and it's just like, yeah, that's cool and all, but like it doesn't really hit well. Club is hit or miss, yeah, exactly. But yeah, like, but for certain songs like Tekken, what was it? Like the Heat Haze Shadow, the cinematic like song for Tekken 7 when Heihachi fights Kazuya is like, it really sells you on like the fight. That's fair. But Tekken is definitely like a candidate. Yeah, and there's also like SNK too. Like SNK has a really banger soundtrack.
SNK like emphasizes, like, I mean, KOF 15 had like a whole DJ station.
Exactly. Yeah. You're like, what other like?
You can like literally like on a PC, you can like go to the DJ station for like KOF 15, and like get out of it on Steam and just do work, just like listening to like just KOF songs the whole way.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what like a nice feature I always like for fighting games when it comes down to like music. Give us like a DJ like disco library of like all these like classic fighting games, not for the new game, but also from past games as well.
I just wish that more like fighting games let you have like custom sounds. Did you know how in Dragon Ball Fighters, like you go online, you can pick the song, and sometimes it'll pick yours or
well, that's also
I wish they had more features.
Well, also with like Dragon Ball, because, you know, Dragon Ball is kind of like a sensitive one to me, because, you know, Dragon Ball started off as a manga and anime, and then later on as an anime. And then the anime has very like, you know, and we should also get into this topic as well, is like, I don't think fighting games ever like had this issue, but music can have like certain copyright legalities.
Everything. All of it.
Everything.
They can always have like that issue. I mean, most anime that was like brought over to the US, they were so afraid of like copyright issues that they would just record like something new.
Yeah. Yeah, like each time, and that's like, I'm glad that we like brought up like Dragon Ball Fighters, because like Dragon Ball Fighters has some like anime songs that are in that game, but you can't like legit like play them. I didn't know that like you can't select the music when you're going to a match in Dragon Ball Fighters. I didn't know that like you can do that. Yeah,
so it's like because you know I get into it all the time. Like you can like with your team, you can pick the stage, and now you can pick the song.
Oh.
Sometimes they'll play yours, and sometimes they'll play the opponents. Like they have like a.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but with like Dragon Ball, is like it has some like very iconic songs from the anime, and just like imagining the fucking legality YouTube strikes that would happen on your Dragon Ball matches. Twitch is like nicer because like they'll mute you, but like in YouTube that shit won't fly, right? Because you either have to like mute it, or like, you know, you have to take out like the song, and it's like, man, I want to listen to like the Dragon Ball GT like Japanese like theme, and like just like go ham.
It's so much better too. Like the GT theme, like compared to like what was the American one?
Yeah.
Into the Grand Tour or something
into
like
the
that?
Grand Tour, you know, like it was a very rocky like hip hop theme. It was like okay, but it was not like.
I watched GT in Mexico, so I first heard the Japanese one before the American one, and then when they brought the American one, I was like, oh no.
Oh
no. I'm not doing this.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, but Dragon Ball has like some like very sensitive like music that won't like really fly by, and like it makes me like kind of like, you know, worried, because like what if the next like anime fighter, like let's say for example Bleach or One Piece or Bleach have very like iconic songs from our like childhood growing up, and like if they have like a music like DJ, it's like you can't play those songs while playing like a Bleach or One Piece like fighting game, because that shit's gonna be muted outright. So like, how the fuck are you gonna like do that then?
I feel like this is why they should probably give an option to like select your like a different song. Because usually like a lot of these anime fighters, they'll have like those iconic songs, like sure, but they usually do like a couple of like original stuff just for the game, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe they should have more options to like switch it up, just in case like a streamer doesn't want to like get a copyright strike or something.
Exactly.
So they'll just put like a different song or something like that.
Right. Yeah, because like it's just such like a bountiful thing like now, because most games that really do have like music have like a streamer mode option, right? And back to like my favorite game of 2023 is like Hi-Fi Rush, because Hi-Fi Rush has a streamer mode, because everything is music, and that's what like my biggest worry before getting into Hi-Fi Rush is like you have all of these like iconic like music artists, the Prodigy, the Glass Pyramids, or what was it, 9 Inch Nails, and like all these like different tracks. There's even like Flaming. There's even like what was it, a song done by Flaming Lips, and like I'm like, isn't that the artist that did one of like the SpongeBob like ending themes for the movie? I was like, oh yeah, that is. So, and it was like, how do you like go about that? And Hi-Fi Rush has like a streamer mode.
You have to like, usually whenever you're like making like something new, you usually have to get permission from like the license holder. Even if you make something with them not knowing it, they usually just they have to be okay with it.
Of course, yeah.
And they have to like, it doesn't have to be like super formal, but if they have a problem with it, like they can take you to court, or they can just garnish some of the money that you get from it.
Yeah, like that's the thing, it has to have like that handshake, like if everything like okay like works out, right? But yeah, like, what was it, Hi-Fi Rush has like a streamer mode that like it does have like songs, because everything about it is music. It's a rhythm game. But the nice thing is that they like made their tracks like their own. So they made like some of like those like iconic songs from those like music artists. They got like their permission and like made like custom new songs that's similar beats from their original track, and put it into the game specifically only for streamer mode. And it was like, yo.
So in copyright law, those are called derivative works.
Oh.
So, yeah, so those are called derivative works, and that's usually, I mean, that's like a very basic thing that you can do with like any piece of art, really. And with derivative works, like the question usually is, well, one, authorship, but they usually boil down to like originality. Like how much does this piece of work differ from like the original?
Oh, I see. Wow. Well, luckily for like Hi-Fi Rush, there wasn't like, I haven't heard from like Twitter that somebody got like a copyright YouTube strike from haven't heard anything from their soundtracks. A lot of it was just complimenting the game, but like no one ever complained about like the soundtrack, or like somebody got like a strike for Hi-Fi Rush. Like I even uploaded like I even uploaded like an hour and a half like part 1 sesh of me playing like Hi-Fi Rush, and so far I haven't checked on my like YouTube channel, my channel, but
if I had to guess, I would think that the studio behind Hi-Fi Rush, they probably like before they made like a lot of the game, they probably just made sure that they could actually hold the rights to it.
Yeah.
That's probably why no one was in trouble.
Because I would imagine, how would you play it in like fucking not streamer mode? But in like streamer mode, it's like they even like say like streamer mode is enabling you like different like custom songs, but it doesn't guarantee like you'll be free of copyright strikes. You'll still like get some. But like for the most part, when I uploaded my first part of Hi-Fi Rush, it was like, okay, I didn't get any strikes, so I'm good for the other ones, right? All right, that's good. But yeah, like for fighting games, historically, I never like heard or seen like a fighting game like soundtrack from like a FGC YouTuber or commentator, not that I like know of, that got like a got like a YouTube strike, or like their channel was muted because a certain soundtrack in a fighting game had like particular elements that was from like an artist that was not okay.
That's true. I haven't even heard it for Smash, and usually Nintendo is like pretty big on copyright strikes.
Yeah, right. Because like that's the funny thing too, right? Because you know, Smash Brothers, it's another topic, right? Because there's always like that funny joke of like, you know, when Cloud was released in Smash 4, that motherfucker got like 2 tracks, but then when Sephiroth came in, it's like all of those like tracks came into like Final Fantasy 7, and now it's like the biggest like Smash Brothers is like the biggest library of like video game soundtracks like ever. Not just for Nintendo IPs, but also for all the other companies that have been like partnered with Smash Brothers. Yeah, like Smash Brothers is like the biggest, like, what is it? The Guinness Book of World Record of like fighting game characters. Yeah, like characters like fucking Banjo-Kazooie and like fighting Minecraft like Steve, right? Like, Jesus Christ, like historians are going to be talking about that.
I still can't believe that they have Minecraft Steve in there. I can't believe that Minecraft Steve is in there and that he's top tier.
Yeah, I had like my boy Jerry talk to me about that. It's like, yeah, like Minecraft Steve is like, you know, good, but like at the first like day, he was supposed to be, you know, a like trap like, well, a joke is one of them, right? But like in gameplay aesthetics, he was supposed to be like a trap like setup character. But now oh my god. But now Steve is like a fucking Bunga Bunga character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate meta. Like
it is ridiculous how Bunga Bunga is too.
Yeah. But Smash Brothers is also another good topic because, you know, we touch about this, and it's like, you know, video game memorabilia, not just like in like roster, but like also like in music, because there's a lot of like, you know, Final Fantasy music, Street Fighter music, Metal Gear music, Bayonetta music is also there, right? And yeah, like Nintendo just got like the okay from those like companies to add those very sensitive music. Like
it's Street Fighter too, so I mean there's that too.
Well, Street Fighter
and KOF.
Well, Street Fighter, yeah, well, Street Fighter and KOF, but the most sensitive one is like Square Enix, and you know how like very sensitive Square Enix can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Square Enix can't really like sell you on like sell like Nintendo like specific soundtracks. Like, imagine it would be hard to like sell One Winged Angel into like a Smash like fighting game without like their consent. Yep. But now it's like, you know, because of like our holy lord Sakurai just like making pleas to like all these other different companies, and it's like, you know, he just got like the okay from like Square Enix and like added those tracks that should have been there in Smash 4, but now here they are.
Should have been there in Smash 4, but you know, you got 2 instead.
Yeah, you got like 2 instead. It's like, I think it was like one of my boys, Frank, when he said this about the Sephiroth reveal, he screamed like, yeah, I can't wait for one more song. It's like, yeah, like that's true. I'm like, but thank God, like the soundtrack was there.
Wrong. I mean, he probably wasn't gonna be wrong because it was gonna be either or.
Yeah, it was gonna be either or. Yeah, but there's a lot of like music in Smash Brothers, and they're just like fine with it. But for like fighting games as like a whole, right? It's just like music is like what really motivates you. And like in this day and age with like video games and gaming, sometimes they can kind of like collide here and there, and it's because of like, you know, new updated like algorithms from our like favorite platform services, and it could be kind of like a pain because you want to like get in the moment, but you're not going to be really like in the moment if the music is like muted or like, you know, all that shit. It's kind of like ridiculous, and I want like fighting games to like understand that, you know, music is really an important factor.
I think they'll start to get it. I mean, I think they're already getting it. But I think with Street Fighter 6 coming out, it's really gonna hammer in like the importance of like at least paying attention to music.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, that's the thing, right? Music for like Street Fighter 6 is going to be really like impactful because it's selling you like we've been like discussing this here and there, like the identity of Street Fighter 6, right? The identity for Street Fighter 6 was like, you know, founded upon like, you know, Street Fighter Third Strike, and it's just like perfected it out in Street Fighter 6. And yeah, like it just goes to show that, like, you know, music is also like an important factor, right? Just like not just like visually, but also like just to sell you that, like, you know, you can fight while bopping at the same time, you know?
Sell you the moment, really.
Yeah, sell you the moment is essentially what it is. Yeah, everything like has to be like, you know, the moment, right? And in tournaments, like tournaments is also really an important note because, like, you know, sometimes like music is like good, but when you get like that moment in that, like, my friend always says this, like, tourney winning grab, and the music like hits in at like the very like sweet spot moment of like that tourney winning grab, it like makes the fighting game, or like makes that certain video game worth it, you know? Like, I could, like, you know, I can be like this, you know, not exactly be like that, but I could be something like this, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? But yeah, we talked about like Guilty Gear, we talked about KOF. Are any like other fighting games already like missing from this like discussion?
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot, but like those are the big ones for me, at least.
Yeah. Oh, there is like one fighting game that has like some musical like elements. There's this game called like God of Rock. God of Rock is like a it's like a fighting game mixed with like Dance Dance Revolution.
What?
Yeah, like dead ass. It really like it sounds like that. Let me find like the God of Rock, right? You can like get this like on Steam, and there's like a demo available for it. But yeah, it's like a rhythm like fighting game. It's a rhythm fighting game, and I pretty much got like sold for it.
I've never seen this.
Yeah. Let me see. I'll probably oh, there you go. Yeah, but God of Rock is like one of those like
never hurt so much.
Yeah, music never hurts so much. Yeah, like it's a DDR fighting rhythm-based gameplay with fighting game mechanics, right? And it's got like cool roster. It's like it's got a planned release date. It's on like consoles. It's planned for like April, but it's like, yo, damn, after like Hi-Fi Rush, I kind of want to try more rhythm games, and like, yo, God of Rock is like the best of both worlds, I feel.
I low-key miss a lot of rhythm games.
Oh yeah, true.
You know, we used to play a lot of Guitar Hero back in the barracks, so it's, you know, I kind of miss that.
Yeah, and it also like prompts me to play like, you know, Space Channel 5 and all those other rhythm games, right? Because I want to get like into the beat of the moment. Yeah, it goes to show, guys. It's like music is important. Music gives like, you know, what my mom calls masala, or flavor. You know, like it's important all around.
Yeah, mom's not wrong.
Yeah, right. But there should be like, you know, some important like key things to take away from like, you know, this discussion is like, you know, music in fighting games should not be like taken away. They should be like ingrained into the fighting game, and it should have like, you know, be like alive, be organic, right? Be like a Killer Instinct or a Guilty Gear to an extent, or even like a Marvel vs. Capcom.
This God of Rock game is only $30 too.
Yeah, the God of Rock game is only $30 too. Yeah, going to be like seamlessing it and going to be checking it out. And you know, what I hope is like, you know, don't make like your fighting game like, and this is like stemming from like the last Khaiza Dojo we did a while back. It's like, don't make it like too cinematic, like Mortal Kombat or MVCI. That's, you know, yeah, like, yeah, like story mode is like good, but like, you know, you gotta have like some flavor to your characters and like your stages, right? Otherwise, it's just gonna feel like dry to me, and I won't like come back to those like games. Granted, MVCI, I will like come back to because it's Marvel vs. Capcom. But Mortal Kombat, solid, like, you know, maybe a little bit. If you like update like character themes, like have like Scorpion, like have some like ninjutsu theme, or like, you know, Johnny Cage has like a Hollywood theme about him. Like that would be like something really cool.
I think maybe with like Mortal Kombat, for them it was more like it was like a push and pull. I feel like they sacrificed like the actual, not the sound quality, but like the actual like individual themes for everybody.
Yeah.
For, like, a more expansive universe.
Yeah,
And
that's.
I get it, and I kind of like the cinematic like cuts into like fights and stuff like that. I kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do miss like having more like music whenever I'm playing that game.
Yeah, right. Like for Mortal Kombat, for example, it does have some cool hits, like themes here and there. Like there's like one theme that I'll go back to, which is like the underground fight club scene, and that has a really cool like stage theme. But other than that, right, Mortal Kombat doesn't really have like a score, or well, it does have a score, but it doesn't have like an OST, and an OST would like commonly would mean like character themes or like, you know, stage themes, something like that. And like Mortal Kombat needs to like get on that. Like we're gonna get like potentially a Mortal Kombat 12 by the time like technically E3.
Everyone's like pretty certain it's gonna be Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it's gonna be Mortal Kombat 12, and I don't know if it's gonna be like, well, for E3's case, because I don't know if you've heard, but like a lot of companies are gonna be dropping off from like the conference. Like
Really? Oh yeah, E3. Yeah, I thought you were talking about Evo, but like no.
No.
I heard about E3.
Yeah, like Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo aren't going to be doing like a unified like a conference like showcase anymore. So it's like, I don't know what.
What's the point of Evo if you aren't there?
Yeah, what's the point of like? Well, what's the point of E3 if you're not there? I don't know about like Evo though. I mean, like Evo could be like a magical time.
What's the point of E3 if those three aren't there though?
Yeah, exactly. And like, you know, over the years, E3 is like, you know, dying out, right? There's not a lot of hype for it nowadays, and especially nowadays. It was there back then, but you know, nowadays after like with COVID and everything, it's like, you know, I don't think you have like a solid, legitimate reason to go to like a big clustered video game conference filled with a lot of people and just like be there for like one or few announcements that you could be like excited for, to just watch those like game like announcements.
Yeah, I don't know. I just always like sort of pay attention to E3, but I mean now it's just like not really.
Yeah, now it's just like not really like it's cool to see like announcements, but like I don't know if I'm going to be spending like $1,000 for a flight trip to like California and like see like the venue myself just to see like one or two like announcements that will get me really excited.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's there for like an experience, but like I don't think I'll miss that experience anytime soon. Yeah, but I think we like talked about enough. Yeah, I think we talked about enough music in like fighting games. Yeah, like yeah, this was like a really good discussion.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, I think we should like end it here, guys. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. You can follow me on like my platforms, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all that stuff. You want to say anything for your socials, Eskateerr?
I write poetry on Instagram, and I'm gonna be doing like weekly drops because I've written like over 300. So that's the big one. Other than that, like, you know, I don't really stream a whole lot because I'm in school right now.
Yeah.
So the Instagram for poetry is probably the big one.
Oh, I also heard that you entered like your what was it? Your online tournaments for KOF.
Yeah, and for Dragon Ball Fighters, because like I just want to practice for Texas Showdown. But,
Yeah.
It's not something that I'm like gonna try to like get paid in. Just
Yeah, it's there. It's there for experience, right?
yeah, experience.
Yeah, that makes me like super like motivated. Like I even like tweeted out and you like replied back to me and it was like, yeah, I want to get into like my first like local or like something like that. And I don't want to like play like some of like the current games. I want to try like Street Fighter 6 because that's the game where like everybody will be jumping in and still learning on stuff, you know?
Yeah, I think jumping on Street Fighter 6, I think that's like a great plan because like you said, that's the one that everyone's gonna start like. It's gonna have a big player base. It's gonna be like brand new mechanics. You know, it looks gorgeous, and it's gonna be hard to master anyway. So I think it's gonna be a good game to get into.
Oh, I could definitely vouch for like the hard to master, but like I just want to like, is Street Fighter has like had like an impact on me, especially like the new one that like, you know, I just want to like get good in that game. Like actually get good, you know, not just like play it for casually, but like, you know, I want to put my foot out there in the world, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think Street Fighter 6 is a good one.
Yeah, and hopefully, let's see, like with Tekken 8 maybe, like that game's going to be like coming out probably like next year. We just got like more announcements for like Tekken 8 that's going to have potentially rollback netcode. And it's going to be handled by the guys who did Fighting EX Slayer.
If they don't have rollback netcode, they would have dropped the ball. Like,
they would have dropped the ball, right? Yeah, let's be honest here.
Let's be honest, like it's expected to happen now.
Yeah, and that was like the biggest like worry like for Street Fighter 6 is like, man, Street Fighter looks pretty, but will it play good online? Until like we played the beta, and it's like, oh wow, Street Fighter 6 actually plays well. I'm like, yo, damn, I could play this game now.
They learned their lesson, that's why.
They learned their lesson, exactly, with their butt-ass netcode online for Street Fighter 5. Oh my god. Thank god I played like the later half of that game when the game was almost done. I was like, okay, now this feels a little bit better, but is it the best? No. Coming, mommy. But yeah, like, I'm really like anticipating for like those games to like come out and like get good in them, right? I want to like you know, step my foot out there, you know.
Like I said, I'll play in Street Fighter 6 because, you know, why not?
Oh, of course, yeah. I'm always down for like a match with like a homie here and there, you know, just to get like my practice and my fingers like going in, you know. Also, are you gonna be free next week, Eskateerr?
Possibly. I'd have to check my schedule, but you just DM me. Yeah, and I'll check it out.
Okay, yeah, because you know, we still gotta plan our fight night with KOF 15 online.
I'm up for it, man.
Yeah, okay. So I'll like DM you, and we can like schedule like a play date.
All right, man. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, but anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this discussion. I will upload this video probably at like the end of the month when all the other videos are done. But yeah, look forward to more Khaiza Dojo content. I really want to make more dojos, but I gotta like think of an idea and shoot up your ideas. Not just you, Eskateerr, but like to everybody watching this. So like, what would be the next topic y'all want us to discuss? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. We're looking for ideas. We're hunting them down. Please give us some ideas. Fucking.
I got ideas. Well, I might shoot some over.
Oh, okay, all right. I'll look out for them. But anyway, take care, Eskateerr. Take care, guys. I'll see y'all next time.